What if being smart is the very thing holding you back? Not your lack of effort, not your environment, not your opportunities. You're intelligent because if you look closely at your life, something doesn't add up. You understand things quickly. You see patterns others miss. You overanalyze decisions before making them, and yet you feel stuck, while others, less thoughtful, less analytical, seem to move faster, take bigger risks, and somehow win. And that creates a quiet frustration. Question you don't say out loud. If I'm so smart, why am I not further ahead? Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Because the problem isn't that you're not using your intelligence. It's that your intelligence is using you. You see, your brain isn't just designed to solve problems. It's designed to predict outcomes, to simulate the future, to calculate risk. And the smarter you are, the more simulations you run. Every decision becomes a web of possibilities. Every action, a potential mistake. So instead of moving forward, you pause, you think, you refine, you wait, not because you're lazy, but because you can see too much. Psychology calls this analysis paralysis, but that's just the surface. What's really happening is deeper. Your intelligence is trying to protect you from failure, from embarrassment, from wasted effort, so it builds invisible walls, walls made of logic. Is this the best option? What if there's something better? What if I fail after all this thinking? And suddenly, you're not making decisions anymore. You're avoiding them. Now here's the paradox no one tells you. The people who move fast aren't always smarter. They're just less resistant to uncertainty. They act with incomplete information. They don't need perfect clarity. And because of that, they gain something you don't. Momentum. While you're still thinking, they're already learning. While you're optimizing, they're already failing, adjusting, improving. And slowly, they outpace you. Not because they're better, but because they're moving. This is where intelligence becomes a trap. A trap because it gives you the illusion of progress. Thinking feels productive. Planning feels productive. Understanding feels productive. But none of it replaces action. And deep down, you know this. That's why there's a constant tension inside you. A quiet awareness that you could do more, but you're not. And that gap, burrs between potential and action, is where frustration lives. But it gets even more complex because your intelligence doesn't just affect your actions. It affects your identity. You've been told your whole life that you're smart, and without realizing it, you start protecting that label. You avoid situations where you might look average. You hesitate to try things where you're not instantly good because failure doesn't just feel like failure. It feels like a contradiction. If I'm smart, why did I fail? So instead of risking that identity, you stay in your comfort zone where you already understand things, where you already feel capable. But that safety comes at a cost because growth requires discomfort, and discomfort threatens your identity. So your intelligence creates a loop. You think, you hesitate, you stay safe, you feel stuck. You feel stuck, you think more, and the cycle continues. Now, here's the shift. What if your intelligence isn't the problem, but the way you're using it is? Because intelligence isn't meant to replace action. It's meant to guide it. It's not meant to eliminate risk. It's meant to navigate it. The people who actually succeed with intelligence don't wait for perfect clarity. They act with partial understanding. They treat thinking as a tool, not a substitute for movement. They accept that even the best analysis can't predict everything. And that's where real growth begins. When you stop trying to think your way into certainty and start moving despite uncertainty. Because in reality, clarity doesn't come before action. It comes from action. So maybe the real question isn't, what if being smart is your biggest weakness? Maybe it's this. What if your intelligence was never meant to make life easier, but to make your decisions more intentional? And what if the only thing holding you back is waiting for a moment that will never feel perfect? Because the truth is, you don't need more thinking. You need friction. You need movement. You need to let reality challenge your ideas. Only then does intelligence become power. Not when it protects you from mistakes, but when it helps you learn from them. So the next time you catch yourself overthinking, pause, not to analyze more, but to act, a mini two-actor. Because the difference between potential and progress isn't intelligence, it's execution. And the moment you realize that your intelligence stops being your weakness and finally becomes your advantage,